Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of Project 2100. And I gotta say, oh my god, I'm just looking on my second screen on that site, on that YouTube site, 3,500 views in 3 days. That's my best video so far. That's amazing. Thank you very much for that response. I was not sure if there was demand for something like this. To be fair, to be completely honest with you, I'm not really looking on demand because, you know, I'm a small YouTuber. I can do what I want, so I don't really have to look on those numbers. Fun fact was actually that I did not even know that I had this many views on that video because until a friend told me on on WhatsApp. That's amazing. Thank you very much. But now getting into this video, I had a couple of interesting comments about about my concept here. One very interesting comment is from X2P428. That's a great name, mate. He says that driverless cars will not reduce or solve traffic issues unless I ban all of them, which is my intention. I want to ban non-driverless cars in normal traffic, but I don't want to ban non-driverless cars in general. I want to establish, you know, some tracks, like racing tracks nowadays, for people to drive their cars in their free time if they want to do so. He also said in that comment that the more convenient you make driving, the more people will drive. Convenient transportation is supposed to be the job of public transport. Yes, mate, that's right. I agree with you completely. What I want to do here is I don't want to encourage driving. Those driveways are not supposed to be just driveways for private cars. They are supposed to be for taxis, as they, in my opinion, they could play a big role as they are autonomous taxis. So you essentially press a button with at the street or you on your phone, and the taxi will arrive and pick you up and drop you off wherever you want. This is a form of public transport. You know, they are not cheap because someone has to maintain all those taxis. And another thing is that those driveways, they are supposed to be for deliveries only, you know, for trucks and things. Because and now I have to defend myself. There are ideas for cargo metros, which is basically a system of underground networks where autonomous cabinets or autonomous boxes will with stuff in it will drive through the city or under the city better, and they will deliver goods directly to the basement of a building. Now I have to come up with a reason to not implement this, because on one hand it is not possible, and on the other hand I need a reason. And the reason I present to you is the underground structure of this of the place I am here, which has to do with global warming. And if you don't believe in global warming, you can get out. Thanks very much. Please close the door. And yeah, the global warming is an issue that's also addressed by many people. I should build, for example, artificial islands. That's what Jay Willander said. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I actually picked this map. This is because of this bay area. This, to be honest, no offense if you're Impulse, which has made this map. No offense, the map looks great, but in my opinion, that bay area that I'm building at does not really look that natural. And one idea I could have for this is that this area used to be everything on land, but then the sea came and formed this bay. And that's why they built the city here, because it is not supposed to be land. It is supposed to be, well, no, it is supposed to be land, not water. But the water has destroyed the land structures, and there was not really time to establish water animals living in the bay in a big fashion. So they built here to not interrupt any big wildlife living here, because cities always interrupt wildlife. But if the wildlife has not really established it, that could be a reason why they built the city. But I don't know. Please don't judge me on this. I'm just thinking creatively in this issue. Yeah, and coming back to the tunnels, you can build foundations to buildings very easily. Not really easily, but it is possible into not really stable land, because, as you know, this is a flooded land to some extent. Yes, artificial islands. There they have put some new land to the islands or to the mainland. So the base is not really that stable. They can ram poles through the basements or through the land mass, because that's how buildings are built with foundations. But you can't really tunnel under it, which is the reason why they did not build a system that I just said with the cargo. And that was a very lengthy explanation to why I am doing certain things or not. I'm very sorry for this explanation, but you don't have, if you don't, I don't mind really. You have to mind. I don't mind really, because you know I have my ideas to this place, and you can also have ideas. I would really appreciate some suggestions by you, because why not? You can make suggestions anytime you want. And now finally coming back to what I built here, I'm currently filling in some space in the downtown. As you can guess from the title, we're not really expanding too much. We're building on the downtown. What I did here is, I don't know if I can show it to you, but that big building with that flat facade that I've worked on, you can see it in the upper left corner now. This is a hospital. It looks very weird, I know, but this is 22nd century architecture. I can just say anything and say, hey, it's 22nd century. So this is a hospital, and that's why there is this very gentle bridge for people which are not really that fit on their feet. So there's this bridge, and also parks. That's one thing I wanted to address in this video. As you see me building many parks in this episode, I studied some downtown, specifically New York City, which is one of the most recognizable downtowns of the world, to be honest. And I found something out. I found out something very interesting, which is, I think it's called the Building Act or Building Height Act or something else from 1963. This is a new law, or not really a new by today's standards, but it was a new law back then, which defined the maximum height of a building, which was not really it was not really a number like in Paris. In Paris, I think it's about 25 meters. In New York, they defined a plot to building height ratio, which means that let's say you have a plot of 100 by 100 meters, which equals 100,000 square meters, and you want to build a high building on it. So you have to you have to decide on how much space a floor has. And if you have a ratio of 1, this means you can have one floor which takes up 100,000 square meters. And then your building has a maximum of 100,000 square meters. This is basically that ratio of 1 is defined in New York downtown as 10, for example, in one district, which means that if you have a 100,000 square meters plot of land, you can have a maximum of 10 floors if you plan to build a building on the whole plot. But as you can probably see, those high buildings in New York, at least the newer ones, they are very tall and quite skinny, so they don't really have that 1 to 10 ratio that I said. So they use the rest of their plot, which is not used up for floors. They use it for public parks, which is a very nice idea from them. And so the downtown of New York is less cramped with newer buildings than with older, which with the old regulation you could just build to the corner of the street. So sometimes it would be very cramped. But now coming back to the video here, we have something new here, which is a playground. You have seen it in the thumbnail. This is one of my favorite builds so far in this map. I will show it back in the things in the how are they called? In the cinematics. Yes, I don't really do cuts. I just made one cut by now. I hope you didn't notice it. Anyway, those that playground is next to an apartment building, to a big apartment building, and yeah, this playground is supposed to be for children, and there is a fence around it, so no problem. And also there are many trees and bushes around them to give a sort of feeling of inclusivity, that you're not exposed to the buildings and not and you can have some freedom in the park. And also it looks nicer without them. And this is now decorating the hospital. This is an ambulance drive-through. Of course, the ambulance has its own entrance, and you have to stop if an ambulance comes by. And yeah, so I basically tried to make this into a nice and interesting hospital front. And something else on the list that I wanted to talk about is back to the topic of mobility. You maybe have spotted them. I placed about 6 or 7 bike rental spots in. I placed them down in the hope of citizens using them. Of course, they are not functional in the game, but you often see them in city areas. You know, that just those bikes on that machine, and you press a button and you get your bike. Those are spread out everywhere, so you can just take a bike and drive to the hospital where it's one. There's one bike rental station, or another one is just at the playground, and I made a couple of others in office parks. I think I will make one here. Yes, I will make one here. Besides a cafe and an area for picnicking and eating lunch, because cafeterias, they're called cafeterias, right? In English, you know, those business restaurants. They're not really giving a good service here. Yeah, here you can see me coping them around, and I don't want to say they don't provide a good service, but they are not public, and you can't really meet new people outside of your business building. So I want to encourage office people from the office to come out into the nature and into the sun, and to eat there with people from other office buildings, because why not? And wow, already 50 minutes. No, not 50 minutes, but 15 minutes round, which means I will slowly come to the end of my time lapse. But before that, this is just the last decorations for this building here. I made some roadside bushes and things, because I've seen them too in Toronto, where I was in the summer. But now enough of Toronto. There will be some footage at the end, some cinematics. I hope you've liked this video. If you want to see more of them, you can subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.